Konnichiwa! Sega Genesis and Mega Drive fans have been spoiled over the last few years with a slew of brand new games breathing new life into their console. And it looks like 2021 is going to keep up the pace with a ton of brand new homebrew and indie developed titles. In today's show, we're going to be checking out 4 titles that are going to be coming to your Sega Genesis and Mega Drive in 2021. My name's Mike, and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. Hey, welcome back to the Retro Gamer Boy Show. If you're new to the channel, why not consider subscribing by clicking on a little button just below the video here. And remember, this Wednesday and every Wednesday, I'm live at the arcade with Sega Head, where we play some of our most favourite arcade titles while talking about some of the best retro games that have ever been released. Now, if you haven't guessed already, I'm a huge fan of the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. You just have to look on the shelf behind me to see how much I love this console. And whilst I've loved picking up the classics I had as a kid, the thing that I've really started to enjoy is the independent development scene around the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. New games developed for our old console. Games like Tanglewood over here are absolutely fantastic, and they've breathed new life into these old consoles. And with nearly 30 years of Sega's 16-bit consoles development experience behind us, we're now getting to see some absolutely fantastic looking and playing games. And whilst 2021 is going to continue the momentum of homebrew and indie dev games for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, we're going to be looking at 4 titles that you should be really excited about. Now, the first title we're going to be looking at comes from a developer called Bad Bones, and it's called Verge World. Now, in Verge World, you play the part of a smuggler who's joining a revolution against an evil corporation that's set on enslaving a new human home world. Now, the developers are calling this a sci-fi shoot-'em-up racer with exploration elements. And the really interesting thing about Verge World is their choice of art style. Verge World is built using voxels. Now, voxels are the process of representing a 3D environment using 2D elements, like height maps and color maps. And what you get is this really stylized look as you traverse a 3D environment. Now, Verge World looks like a stunning game, especially when we look at the Amiga 3000 footage here. But there's a few questions on how the Mega Drive and Genesis are going to handle this kind of technology. Now, it's not new, and there are other games in development using a similar process. Now, we've got the video here for you to check out so you can make up your own mind. But if you're not convinced, you can also download a demo that the developers have made available for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis, allowing you to decide whether Verge World is going to be something that you want to invest in 2021. ZPF. Now, little is known about this game, and the only concrete real facts that we have is that this is a collaboration development effort between Grisor, Mikhail Tilander, and Jivix, or JG Vex. I'm butchering all names here. But anyway, a collaboration between some guys that have been developing on the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis for a while now. But what we can tell from the gameplay footage is that this is going to be a 2D side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, much in the same vein as R-Type. Now, it looks like there's going to be 3 playable characters or vehicles, and they're going to be set against some absolutely stunning backdrops, some of the best I've ever seen on a Mega Drive. And what I assume are the ender level bosses are just some of the most intricate, well-visualized, Geiger-esque bosses that I've ever seen on the console. Now, the soundtrack that goes along with the trailer is also thumping. I love that tune that they have playing in the background there. And from looking at the footage, it looks like this game is going to go deeper from just mere levels that you play through. It looks like you're also going to be able to buy upgrades for your ship or character. Now, whilst no firm release date has been announced, I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be hitting our shelves in late 2021. Demons of Asteborg from Neofid Technology. Now, we've covered this game before, we've done a full preview on the channel, and I'll stick a link up in the corner over here. Now, the game was due to release in 2020, but as yet it looks like this might slip into 2021. The game is a Ghouls and Ghosts inspired side-scrolling platform with some stunning visuals to boot. There are 3 playable characters and 8 levels for you to explore. And the game sees you jumping across platforms using melee attacks, special abilities which are essentially your ranged attacks, and special moves that just absolutely obliterate everything on screen. Now, as I said, Demons of Asteborg is a stunning looking game. The animation on the character and some of the 3D elements that they've pulled from Mickey Mania into their universe sit really well with the aesthetic of the game. Now, I've got this on pre-order, and again, my hope is that I can get it for Christmas, but seeing where the development team are currently with their updates, it may be that we really are looking at an early 2021 release. But that's not a bad thing. The game looks great, and to have something new to play at the beginning of the year would be fantastic. Now, before we go on to our last game, it's worth saying that Demons of Asteborg does have a demo out for you to try. And if you want to grab that, you can go to their website, or you can click on the link which is just below my video here. Now, our last game that we're going to be covering today is called Phantom Gear from Mega Cat Games. Again, this is another game where the developers have put out a demo for us to try. Now, the game received additional funding by going through Kickstarter, which is now finished. And as of yet, I've not seen anywhere else where you can pre-order the game. So fingers crossed, the developers will be putting up somewhere for us to actually pre-order the game if it isn't up already and I've just not found it yet. Phantom Gear has definitely been inspired by games like Mega Man, not only in gameplay but visual style as well. It's got that cutesy, acrylic toy looking feel to the whole thing, which just makes it feel really, really cool. Animation, audio, visual style are all spectacular. Definitely a game, if it came out when the original Genesis and Mega Drive was around, would be an absolute hit in its own right. The game currently boasts 5 levels, each with an end of level boss. The game revolves around your character traversing a number of platforms whilst blasting bad guys in his way. And the game has added some additional depth where you can unlock skills for your character. So there you go, 4 brand new games to play next year on your old school hardware. Now these games don't usually come cheap. If you want to get a box version, this is usually clamshell, cartridge and instruction manual, they'll usually set you back about £70 or $90 to get your hands on one of these games. They definitely are collector's editions of the game. Now if that is too pricey, then don't worry, most of these developers will also be putting their games out on Steam and on the Nintendo Switch. Thank you so much for joining me for today's show. I've really enjoyed looking at these new games that are going to be coming out next year, and I can't wait to see what other games are announced in 2021 for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. Now if you're like me and you love your retro gaming, then why not subscribe to the channel by clicking on my little pixel head just below here. And remember, every Monday we put out a brand new show, and if you don't want to miss it, you can click on the little bell which is just below this video here. But you don't have to wait until Monday. We've got a huge back catalogue of retro gaming videos for you to enjoy, 2 of which you can watch over here.